You're live.
Hi, I'm Diane Simmons from Cake Connection in Jackson, Michigan, and today we are going to do a surprise 3D cake. I have told nobody what we're doing, so it's going to be something new for everybody. Well, I say new, but it's not so much a new cake, but I've come up with at least what I think is a new technique to speed this up. So we are going to do a stack of pancakes, but we're also going to do the gravity defy. I'm going to show you how to put the syrup bottle up top so it's pouring down. But I'm also going to make this more, I don't want to call it dumbed down, but definitely more beginner friendly, okay? So it's not so overwhelming. Hopefully I'll show you enough and get you going that you feel confident that you can do this, all right? You don't have to have a lot of special tools and everything. You can do this cake and make it look cool. So before we get going with the cake, because I've got so much stuff to cover for this, I'm going to show you today's prize giveaways. And I say giveaways, plural. We are doing a bunch of stuff today. Yes, it is an airbrush system with some airbrush colors. That's just one item, okay? So this is one prize that we're doing. Then I have a 6-pack of some of our more popular new foil liners that we have in, okay? Then we are also going to be doing several gift certificates, okay? So what we're going to do it a little bit different today. In the past, what we've done is just pick out like whoever number comments, the 17th commenter or what, you know, that says hi. Because we have no idea how many people are coming on today since it's our last 11 a.m. quarantine video. What I'm going to do after we get done is hopefully very quickly go to my computer and put everybody's names in and then print them out on some paper. I'm going to come back on, like I said, hopefully within about 15-20 minutes after we finish up, I'm going to come back on for a second live and we will do a drawing, okay? When I'm close to ready, I will put an announcement out that we're going to be going live in 5 minutes. So as long as you set your alerts, you should be advised that we're going to do the drawing. You do not have to be on, but I will say the first 2 that I draw are going to be for the airbrush or the cupcake liners. And they're both about the same dollar value, actually. So I know if you're on, the first name drawn gets to choose if they want the airbrush or the cupcake liners, okay? And so I guess it'll be beneficial to be here. But in order to be entered, you have to say hi, share our video, do something, let us know that you're here, okay? So I can get your name entered in. All right? And same for the gift certificates. I'm going to do all the drawings for those afterwards. So we'll actually be drawing probably about 10 names when I pop back for the second live and we're actually drawing the little paper stubs out of the bowl, okay? All right, on to our project.
They're saying there's no sound.
No sound.
No sound. Just 1 minute. Does anybody have sound?
Carol Lowe says I have sound.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people have sound. Okay, if you don't have sound, log off and back on. I know usually that'll reset it, but I got others saying they got sound, so we're going to leave it as is, okay? Also, please bear with us today if we have any filming issues or concerns. I have my older mister is behind the camera today. Eric had things going on, so he took off. So we have Darren on the camera today. All right. And I also want to announce, yes, today is my last 11 a.m. It's gotten too difficult with the store being open. But Darren has agreed Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. we are going to do a live something on Tuesday nights. So Darren will be coming in and filming for me. So we will continue this. It's just going to be once a week. And like I said, at 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. Same thing though, we will definitely upload all those. So if you're not available, if you can't catch it live, you can still catch the replay. Okay? So now we are jumping in for the demo. To get started, I prepped my board last night. I actually took 2 1/4-inch masonite boards because I didn't have any 1/2-inch here. Glued them together, put some foil, just some decorative fancy foil on it. Okay, and then on the bottom, I just took some caps I had here. Make sure they're all the same. Okay, you could use like 2-liter pop can, soda can. It's pop here in Michigan. But just find some caps that are all the same height. You could also cut some little wood blocks, okay? But you want something so you can get in there to lift and move this around. And the other thing too, if your screws that you use happen to go through the thickness of your board, we don't want that sticking down and sitting on your table and rocking around, okay? So 2 reasons to put those on there. All right, next we have a flange and just some stainless pipe, okay? This is from the plumbing section at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, you know, any type of hardware store type thing, okay? But you need this threaded so it will screw into the flange for you, okay? So we want to hook that right down in the middle, all right? Get your handy dandy drill gun out, because every cake decorator needs one, right? And if you want to measure this, you can, but it doesn't have to be like super duper exactly. If it's off 1/8 of an inch or something, it's not going to hurt anything. Okay. And one more. All right, there we go. So, got that on. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to show you this part. Okay, well, you're still going to be able to see what I did. Before I put that on there, obviously, I took 2 8-inch boards because I baked 8-inch cakes, okay? I don't want my cake sitting right on the flange, especially. So, my first one, I drew a line from the outside, and I just traced it on there, and I cut this. As you can see, it does not have to be a fancy, super nice cut or anything. This works, okay? And the second one, I got just so it'll fit over that top nub, okay? So we've got 2 boards. The base is going to go over there, and then this will fit over
You're still
the nub part.
You're still getting people saying they're having trouble with sound. So there's like 4 of them that don't have sound.
Okay, can we see a thumbs up? How many people can hear me okay? If I've got the majority hearing me, then I'm thinking we've just got a couple people that need to sign in and out. Are we getting a lot of thumbs ups?
Yeah,
thumbs
the
up
blue,
if you can hear me okay.
The blue ones on the side, you're getting a lot, like 100 of them.
Okay. Can somebody just please post to the couple people that don't have sound to please sign out and sign back in, because the majority of you are fine. Yeah. So it sounds like a couple people just need to reset and come back in. Okay. If it were a major issue, I might say we try shutting off and coming back in ourselves, but okay. So we're just covering that. Nothing but plain old aluminum foil. And I forgot to bring my tape. Just a sec. I'm going to tape the whole thing down. We'll just grab a couple pieces here to hold it in place. Normally I would tape the whole thing down and glue it and whatnot, but all right, and then I'm just going to cut right here. So the rest of that I can just kind of push back in to the back, okay? But this way, when you put your cake on here, you've got food safe, all right? Which, in my opinion, much better than putting your cake on that flange there. Okay, and then we do want to put some tape down. Oops, I do gotta grab some more. Just to hold this in place on there when we bring that down back on here. Just a sec. Hang on. Sorry about this. Darren didn't know to sing you guys a song or anything while I was doing that. Silly boy.
Well, they don't want to hear that.
They might want to laugh. You never know.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So we've got some tape on there. I'm just going to set that aside for a minute. Then I'll show you the rest of what we purchased here. So just for entertainment purposes, and if my son is watching while he's driving, well, if Jacqueline is watching and sharing with him while he's driving, dude, you bought the wrong copper cutter. So I just had to share that with him. All right, so our first piece, like I mentioned, I bought, well, not I, Eric bought a, I think 6-inch tall. Yes, okay. He bought a 6-inch tall piece of the piping, okay? And I've got that screwed in tight. We did 6-inch because I baked 3 cakes. So it's probably going to end up around 6.5, 6 3/4 by the time we get our icing in there and stuff, okay? But I didn't want to come out of the top of the cake, but I want it fairly close, okay? Then I wasn't sure exactly how long I wanted these, so I had him get me two 24-inch, or what did I have him get me? Yep, 2 24-inch pieces of copper tubing, okay? And this is 1/4 inch, and when they say 1/4 inch, they are obviously not talking about the outer diameter because it's 3/8, but the inner diameter, which means the inside of it, is 1/4 inch, okay? This is flexible. You can bend it literally with your hand, okay? And do what you want with it. The 1/2-inch pipe would fit down inside here, but it was super, super snug, and I'll be honest, I grabbed it and just tried to move it a little bit. I probably could have put some effort in and done it, but it was not happening, so. And then he did grab a copper cutter, because I don't know, my stuff's all packed up, so. This, however, is not an adjustable size copper cutter. This one is for 3/4 inch tubing. So, not exactly a good thing to cut 1/4 inch tubing with. However, thankfully we got the smaller stuff, and it will, I just took some wire cutters, because like literally 5 minutes before we turned the camera on, I discovered this wasn't going to work and said, snap. And those of you who know me well know that's exactly the word I said, was a snap, right? Okay. But we want to check for the height we want. We have an empty syrup bottle that I've washed out. Okay. So this is going to go up at the top of this, and I'm going to want it in roughly probably 3 inches or so. Okay. So we'll want it, about that far inside the jar. My cake, I'm guessing, is by the time I get frosting and everything, I'm probably going to be about to here. So if I've got that there, I think this is actually a good height. All right. But if I wanted it just a little bit shorter, okay, and these are really just some small little wire cutters, okay. But I just want to show you that it will work if you have to. Okay? And I bent back and forth as I was pinching. It'll work to shorten it up. And we don't care with this. Yeah, it did give it a scrunched end on there. That doesn't matter for the application we're doing. Okay? Now, if you were doing something with a water pump, you know, which I've seen people do, if you were doing a waterfall or something that actually had real water going with your cake, obviously you would need to get a good copper cutter and keep it so everything was open to run, pump your water and stuff.
Eric Simmons is watching.
Eric is watching. Eric, did you hear? Wrong cutter. But I'm the mama, so I innovated. We got this done. Okay, so we are done with, yes, I'm done with all my tools, I think. I'm going to set these aside. Whoa, that was almost ugly. Almost broke a bunch of stuff. Okay, so there. Actually, while I'm putting the cake together, I'm going to do this part of it just so this can set up and dry while we're icing the cake and stuff too. Okay? So, for the syrup, as I mentioned, I just went and bought some syrup and dumped it into another bottle just so I can use the jar here. Yes, you absolutely could go make your own bottle out of Rice Krispie Treats. You could make one out of isomalt. We do not have that kind of time today. And like I said, I'm trying to keep this more basic level. So I'm thinking a bottle in itself could be a whole nother hour project. We're not going there. So we're just going to use one of these. All right. So I have... throw this back in the microwave real quick. I melted, and if Bonnie's watching, she'll like this. I melted some salted caramel chocolate wafers. Okay. Obviously, they're setting back up here. So I gotta warm them back up a little bit. But I thought that was a good color just for the base of the syrup because I didn't really want like a milk chocolate. I thought that'd be too much, so we went with the sea salt caramel. All right. Oop. Not quite melted back down yet. And you could, if you wanted, well, you'll see what I'm going to do here in just a second for why I'm doing chocolate. Theoretically, you could take some fondant and shove inside this if you wanted, if you didn't want to do the chocolate. I think this is going to work best for what I want. So now, this is a little bit on the tricky side. We need to get some chocolate in here, but I don't want it down here in the bottom, okay? I want it to look like the syrup's pouring out, so my goal and hope is to keep it kind of leveled off here, okay? So it, like I said, it looks like it's pouring down, all right? So I have a paper funnel here. Let me think. All right, so I'm going to do it on the side here. So what does go down, hopefully I can catch this at the right time. See, I need my chocolate to go in there, but I don't want it to go in too far. Yeah, it's not going to work so swell. Let's see. Well, we're getting there. Put some more in.
So you do a little at a time, and that way it hardens up, and then you can do some more.
No, the goal, I don't want to get too much in there, so I'm working little bits at a time, but I don't want a lot in there. All right, I'll try and turn this towards you guys. I want it more so to go on an angle. I don't want to cover the whole jar. I'm trying to keep kind of a straight line like it would if it were actually pouring out. Okay? And then, okay, so it's going to be up in the air on an angle like this. All right? But then we also are going to need, set that right there. So like I said, I'm going to go in just a couple, probably like 2-3 inches to come out of the bottle. So we're going to bend that. All right, so it's pouring out. Major mess going on here. All right. Now I want this covered. Then I want to stick it on there.
Dad,
Yeah?
they want to know what brand of caramel melt you're using.
Oh, what brand of melts? These are Clausen. They're sea salt caramel, just chocolate wafers. Okay? So, now I need to find...
Plastic or glass bottle?
This is a plastic bottle. You could use a... you could use a glass one. You just got to really build up your... let's see if I can figure out a way to get this in the freezer. Just a second. So I need this to set up in there, but I'm going to do it somehow. I need my chocolate to stay put. I'm going to do this. Just a minute, guys.
I'm not going to film the back of your head, so.
And some creative arranging in the freezer here. All right. I think I got it. I wedged some vegetables, some frozen vegetables underneath the bottle, and just kind of whipped it around, so hopefully it'll sit to shape and set up for us. Okay. So we got that aside. We're not going to worry about that for a little bit. Now, if you notice, I do have quite a bit more chocolate melted. We're going to use that eventually to paint our copper tubing also. So, until we get there, let's start building our cake. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this down on here. And again, just a reminder, I've got the 3 pieces of tape just looped around. Okay?
Di, can you use your freeze spray to seal it?
Ah, I totally forgot about the freeze spray. Darn it. Yes, you could. Good thinking. Thank you for reminding me of that. Mine's in the freezer already. We're going to leave it there, but yes, you could use the freeze spray. My bad. All right. Before I put the cakes on, I'm going to try and keep most of the junk out of the inside of this here. All the crumbs and stuff. If they go in, they'll go in, but there. I just took some paper towel, wadded that up, and then we'll pull that back out after I get these on there. Okay? Alrighty. Now, if you so desire, this is just a parchment circle that I have. Okay? And if I fold it down several times here, and then I'm going to snip off a little bit right there. That's going to give me my center. Okay?
Dad,
Yep.
they want to know how you're keeping the copper pipe from falling through the bottom.
Through the bottom of what?
It just says through the bottom.
Not sure what you're asking with the copper pipe. It might come back when I get all done. I might answer your question.
And then can you explain what freeze spray is?
Freeze spray, I think is all up front. Freeze spray is basically just a cold spray that you can do. Okay, I want to keep working on this while I don't want to just stop and answer questions. I'll talk while I'm going. I checked my cutter. It will go over my tube. Okay, so you can go in and basically core out your center.
Oh, don't throw that away.
You're okay, honey. Darren's worried about getting this cake here.
Hey, Dad.
All right. Yeah.
They want to know, can you wrap your cakes in saran or plastic wrap, or do you need the plastic bag?
No, you can wrap it in some saran wrap or just anything. I wrap them in plastic basically as soon as they come out of the oven. They are still hot. I cover my boards with foil, as you can see. And then I put them right in a plastic bag. That keeps all the moisture in, okay? If you got a lot of questions on that, definitely go back and watch my baking and icing the cake video. All sorts of tips and tricks on there about that, okay? All right. Just want to give my frosting a quick stir on the mixer. Oops. Turntable. Grab a couple non-skids here on top because I have it up on the feet. Okay, so I just want to be sure a couple of them hit on there. There we go. Let me grab another one here. And I'm just putting the little pieces of non-skid underneath my lids that I put on there. Okay. And putting on just some frosting for the filling. Okay. There we go. And next cake.
Hey, Dad.
Yep.
Somebody wants to know if you put simple syrup on your cake as you layer it up.
No, I have never put simple syrup on my cakes. Honestly, my cakes are very, very moist because of how I pull them out of the oven and wrap them immediately. I think I would have a huge mess if I tried putting simple syrup on these. Okay. So I know a lot of people use it. It's just not something I do. Okay, there we have our center hole in there. And going down on with the next one.
A couple pipe questions, guys.
Yep.
I don't know if you clean the pipe before assembly.
Yes, I washed it when they got here yesterday. I just washed them in some dishwater. Okay, so I had some Dawn, just like I said, my regular dishwater, Dawn soap and some bleach in there, and washed it off first.
And then they want to know if you cover the pipe.
I don't normally because they're stainless steel, but if you get a different type, you absolutely could take some white chocolate and brush on it, okay? But definitely you want to clean whatever you get, okay? Clean it, clean it, clean it.
And Susan wants to know what flavor cake and frosting filling you're using.
Who wants to know?
Susan Mayfield.
Oh, I thought it was like one of my friends that keeps picking on me asking for the leftovers, like they thought they were getting it.
Oh.
Okay, so today I made a strawberry cake because my hubby was coming into film and he did not get his birthday cake this year. And that is all he ever asked for is his strawberry cake. So, he's going to get strawberry cake. Now he's all happy and it makes it worth it that he's in here filming, right? And then my icing, actually it is a mix. I made some chocolate ganache, but then I mix it in with my buttercream icing, along with, I still put some cocoa in the icing too. But I love combining the ganache with the buttercream. It's so yummy. So, we've got that. And let me just whip around here real quick. And
Somebody wants your cake recipe. No.
nope. I have always said I will share all kinds of stuff with you guys except cake recipes. Reason being, I encourage everyone, experiment, do your own thing. Okay? You can put chopped fruit in. I will say, I take my strawberries and put them in my food processor for this, okay? But as far as actual recipes, no, I think everyone should go out, experiment, do your own thing, okay? But there are lots and lots of starting points, okay? Read some books, check some different things out. There's all kinds of different add-ins that people use. I've heard of people melting down ice cream and using that for their liquids, putting sour cream, yogurt. What else have I heard of? Gosh, just all kinds. Seriously, just experiment and play with it, okay? That's what your families are around for. Feed them. Just a sec, I gotta wash my hands real quick. Okay. Wear the gloves and still get the mess. And whip the table back down here. Alright, so we've got the cake basically assembled now. We don't need these anymore. Okay. Now, I am not going to completely ice my cake yet until I get my fondant ready. okay? Reason being, I want my icing still soft where it will grab my fondant real quick, okay? If I frosted my cake right now, it may crust over, and then I basically have a problem, all right? Don't want that. Get my crumbs off there. Okay. So, this was my brainstorm. As I was sitting the other day, because I actually had somebody request,
Somebody wants to know.
Karen maybe, I don't remember who, but someone requested that I do this cake. Well, I'm sitting there trying to think, because the only ways I have seen this done is people rolling out snake by snake by snake, stacking and doing all this, okay? There's no way on earth, and I told her, I didn't know if it would work out time-wise and stuff, but there's no way on earth I was going to sit here and have you guys watch a half an hour plus of me sitting here stacking fake pancakes, okay? So, this, I needed this a little while ago, so I don't have to try to keep you guys from having to watch a bunch of silly stuff, all right?
Somebody asked if you leveled the cakes with your cutter.
No, they came out, well, when they come out of the pan, I level them, but the strawberry really, I use the bake even strips when I cook them, but it doesn't tend to get humps out in the middle of it very often. Like one of the pans of them, yes, I did use my egg bake cutter, because we love it. But when I level them, I do it while they're still right in the pan before I take them out. Okay? So, my fondant, I believe I totally overshot here, or at least I hope I did. Normally, for 3 layers of 8-inch cake, I'm thinking I would, 2 pounds of fondant would probably be plenty. I have 4 pounds here, just in case.
What type are you using today, Diane?
Today, I'm actually using half and half. It's half satin ice and half Renshaw. Okay? So, I need this to be at least, if we go check our cake, it come out about 6 1/4 tall. All right? So, I'm going to do this at least 7 inches wide just to be on the safe side. Okay? So have a ruler around. Got small ones here too, but have that just to keep an eye on it. Okay? And the other thing I did, 8-inch cake. Okay? So the circumference, or the distance around, we got to go back to our, 8th grade or 9th grade algebra, whenever you had algebra and stuff, is your diameter times 3.12. Okay, so times pi, or 1/4. So for an 8-inch cake, basically I figure by the time I have the icing on it and everything, I need 25, 26 inches to go around it. Okay? So,
You have a question, Diane.
what is my question?
Eric wants to know, what is the favorite cake you've ever done for a customer?
Oh, since Eric's asking, I'm sure it was my children's birthday cake I did because my son put in the special order for, I think, their 12th and 13th birthdays, because they're just a week apart, that I did a 3-tier big wedding cake looking thing. His half was the Red Sox, and Christie's, what did we do? It was something with purple, what were those doll things? Why can't I remember the name
American Girl?
No, it wasn't American Girl. But it was some purple something. some dowel flint anyways. But it was split in half, so he did his pictures, I turned it around, and then she did hers. There, was that the right answer, Eric? Okay, so like I said, I need like 26 inches to go around this. I have a piece of parchment, and I measured it off. I cut it at 30 inches, okay? Just because I know I'm not going to get flushed, so I've still got to cut my ends off. But I have a rough piece here, a guide of what I need, all right? So, I am going to move the cake right off here, because I don't want you guys hearing words that would come out of my mouth if I hit that thing and it went tumbling.
Somebody asked, why did you use half and half? But I think it's probably what you had open.
That, yeah. And honestly, I had some that was getting close to expiring. So, running into some problem spots out there in the store with everything shutting down here for a while. So I figure it's just for us, we'll use the stuff that's getting close to Best Buy dated. All right. So we are not long enough, but we are way wide. So let's crunch those back in a little bit here. Okay, these are just some wooden dowel that if you've watched any of my cookie videos or anything, I use them as guides for my cookie dough before I cut it, okay? So for what I come up with here, they're working awesome. All right. So again, remember I went a little bit long, so we are plenty good here, okay? Now, next thing I have, this is just a metal ruler, all right? You can get these just at, okay, this we picked up at the hardware store. I've had this for years and years. Obviously, all my numbers are almost gone. That's from being bleached in the dishwater and whatnot, okay? But we're going to go along, get this out of the way, and we'll work backwards here so you guys can see. Okay, so we got that. Just kind of squaring that edge up. And then I want to double check before I get going. Nothing's sticking. We're good. Okay. So I'm going to go back in there. Just kind of square that edge up a little bit. Okay. So, I'll start from your guys' side so you can see. I am going to take this, about the thickness of a pancake, and press this down in. And go down, hope I can catch it close. There we go. This is definitely a time where I would have preferred a yardstick length instead. But we're going to roll with it. Okay? So, I'm just going along, and I'm pressing that a good ways in, okay? Which will make sense here in a minute. And I did grab some rulers. If you need something as a guide so you don't actually cut all the way through, set a little piece of wood or, you know, a couple rulers down at the end, something just to block you from pushing completely down. I already turned it on.
Yeah.
It's just getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah. I think these lights.
Yes, the lights make it warm. But sorry guys, my temperature, I know you've heard me grumble in the past anyways. I'm not a fan of heat to begin with, and it has went up 4 degrees in here since we started, even though I turned the air conditioner on. Okay, almost done. We're getting there. Whoops. All right. And I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Otherwise we look good on thickness there. Okay, then I'll straighten my end up here.
Someone asked about how thick that was, and it looks like, what, 3/8 of an
This
inch? No,
is-
oh,
No, I did it a lot thicker. I think these are half. What are they?
they don't look like half.
What are they? Oh, these are 3/8. Okay, so my sticks are 3/8 inch, which I know is very thick for fondant. Okay. However, I tried it once I had my idea of, you know, pressing like this, so we didn't have to do all the goofy little runs. When I tried it thinner, it didn't look as nice because you couldn't go in as far, so it didn't, once everything got done, it didn't really look like the stacked pancakes like I wanted. So we do have to go a little bit thicker, but it pays off in the end. All right, I'm just double checking that nothing's sticking under there when I pressed all that down. Okay. Now, I have vodka, El Cheap vodka, and then I just put in some, what did I do? I did some brown, yellow, and gold food color in there, okay? And yes, if you have an airbrush, absolutely could run an airbrush down here super quick, okay? I know a lot of people don't have airbrushes, so my thinking was better to do it with something else that everyone has access to. I think everybody has access to a plastic cup. All right. Dan, can you zoom in a little bit just so you can see? And I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible here, people.
Ooh.
I've got a soft brush here. I'm literally just running down through all these seams, okay? Because this would be where your pancakes are stacked. All right? And the part that's been on your griddle obviously would be a little bit darker and more golden. Okay? And if you notice, I just spit as I was finishing this off. Some of it spit on my fondant. I'm okay with that because I'm actually going to spit it here in a second on purpose. Oh, see, now I need one of... Carol, tell him a funny joke or something. We're almost done here with this part. Close, we're close. Any questions so far?
No current questions, I guess.
No current questions? No way am I answering everything for you guys.
Okay.
And just a reminder, if you joined us a little late, be sure and shout out, say hi, let us know you're here. We have some awesome prizes today, and I do say prizes multiple. I have an airbrush system, a Cookie Countess airbrush system we're giving away with some colors. We're doing a 6-pack of 500 count foil cupcake liners. Got a bunch of gift certificates. We're going to be doing all that after we finish up. Okay? So, I have all the centers of those here. I'll lift up just a little bit so you can see maybe. So I just went through and painted in between all those, okay? And then I'm going to just spit some edges here. All right? Not a lot, but The pancakes are never perfect looking when they come off the griddle, so they need some spots out on the edges are going to be lumpy, bumpy, and browns and whatnots. Okay, and again, this is just a vodka mix with the food color. Okay, you want something that's going to evaporate real quick. Okay, so there we go. And just a minute, because I totally think I felt some spit on my face. I don't know if I want to... Oh, yes I did. Okay. Alright, if I got brown spots on my face, sorry. Just call it a freckle for a minute. I didn't wipe, I just dabbed, but I felt it hit. Alright. So, now... Whoops. Oh, stop. Okay. I'm just gently kind of pushing these together. Alright. So you're still going to see where that was. There we go. Okay. Then we put this over it. Yeah.
Someone wants to know where you get your bags at that you freeze food.
My bags that I
When
put
you bake the cake.
just after I bake the cake. Just FYI, I don't freeze my cakes. I just wrap them up just to let them sit. I just baked those last night, just to roll them or to wrap them up while they cool down. But U-line, if you need a bunch of them, you know, if you're baking a lot, I would strongly recommend go to U-line for them. Otherwise, you can go in the grocery store, just your garbage bags. They have clear garbage bags that will work just fine. They're small, like 8-gallon and 13-gallon, you know, so there's different sizes of that and very, very inexpensive. Just a second. I gotta move this a little bit so we can ice the cake too. Alright, so actually, let me turn it this way so it's not completely away from me. I'll need that here in a second. And then I am covering this with just a very large garbage bag, okay? I don't want that to dry out while I'm frosting the cake. So anytime I do fondant, I roll the fondant out first, get it prepared, ready to go on the cake. Then I cover it up and go ice my cake. Okay? All right. Back in. And just a minute. I'm going to put this back on the mixer real quick just to stir it back up and soften it back up a little bit. Sorry, I know it's noisy for just a quick second. It just helps get the frosting creamy again and gets us ready to go here. Okay. And Darren just motioned to me that we just had a bunch of people join us recently. If you are just joining us, be sure do a shout out, say hi, let us know you're here so you can get entered for today's giveaways. We have a lot of them and a couple very large ones that are pretty nice. We have an airbrush set and a bunch of foil cupcake liners. Okay, so we want to get you entered to win, but you got to tell us you're here so you can get entered. Alright, I'm actually going to use my small spatula so I can be a little more careful going up here around that. And I am a big advocate. Let your tools do your work. Okay? I'm using my turntable, letting that spin. Instead of overstressing my hands and my wrist and stuff. Okay? Just a second. Just let me hop over here and you guys can see me icing the cake a little bit more. Okay. And this, I'm not worried about it being super duper smooth on here today or anything, okay? We just want a good coat. And we'll try and smooth it down for the most part, but in just a second you'll see really see why I don't care if it's smooth or not. Because we're going to add something to it. Okay. So there we go. And this, I just want to get some of my excess down here off the bottom. Okay, it's mainly what I'm focusing on right there. Just a quick run around here. All right, and yes, I see it's not perfectly smooth. It's fine. All right. And oops. And I just realized I totally forgot my top. We'll get the top here in a second. Side's more important, we gotta get that up. All right. And paper towels. Just gonna clean this off real quick. And I'm just getting that excess icing off my cake board. Okay. There we are. And some fresh gloves.
What type of cake decorating do you find most difficult? I can't get my cakes even, LOL.
You can't get them even as far as your icing or as far as the height on them. I need a little more information when you say you can't get them even. And then I might be able to troubleshoot you. All right. Okay, grab my chair here for this part. Get me a little closer down to level with it. All right, so. That was not good. I'm just going to go around and randomly put some lumpy bumpies on here. All right, and I should have done this, had these rolled out and ready earlier. Did not think about it. My bad. But you can kind of get the point. Does not matter how big they are. All right, we are just putting in some bumps. Okay, I did find out you do need to do this, leave them fairly thick. And you can see obviously I picked up some chocolate icing on my gloves. It's okay. But you need them kind of thick so they'll still show up when we put our other fondant around on here. Okay. Oh my gosh, we're already at 12. Okay. Okay, so there we have just lumpy bumpies added in, all right? Because we do not want perfectly smooth cake on here. All right. I'm actually going to take the end of this paper towel here and just use that. Okay, so here you can see I just rolled up that fondant on my paper towel tube, and we're going to go around and I apologize, I have to do this facing myself, guys. Bear with me just a sec. Okay. And my icing has already started to set up and crust over on me. So, now I am right now just trying to find some of those lumps and divots I put in with the fondant, but I also have to grab some water. As I just mentioned, my icing is already starting to set up a little bit on me. Now, if I had had all those little lumps that I made pre-ready, I don't believe I would have had this issue at all. Okay? All right, here I'm going to try and do this over so you guys can see this okay. So my initial, I'm going to cut that, then pull it back a little bit. And we're going to have to work these together. Okay, so we've got some down here that I obviously am going to have to cut off. Okay. And still keep kind of working with your fingers and pressing in to find all those little divots that you put on. Okay? Now, I am not going to make you guys sit here and watch me fuss with this, but basically to get rid of this, if you go back and watch my fondant video that I did, you will see that if you just take some of your excess fondant here and mix some water in with it, all right, you will get kind of a pasty glue. You can sit there, fill all that in, all right? Work it with some of your modeling tools also. And get everything lined up. I know I don't have my gloves on right now. We're eating the cakes ourselves. All right, but kind of work it down the best you can. mix some of your fondant with some water and then go back in there and kind of tape it together. Or, I'm sorry, paint it in there just so it covers up, okay? Then, get a glove back on here. Oh, really? All that and it just come unhooked. Lovely. Actually, I'm gonna put that back in. We'll do this while it's cold. Okay. So my copper just came unglued when I pulled it out of there. I bumped it. But I threw the copper back in there. I want to keep it cold and I'm going to dip it back in some chocolate. And hopefully that being cold, it will reset on there really quick for me. Let's get some of our mess stuff out of here. All right. There. Okay. Now you can also take a ball tool and go back in and kind of put some little marks, you know, push some areas in, because pancakes are never completely, they're not all perfect, and all right, so you want some variations going on in there, all right? Use your tools. Let them work for you, all right? So you want some indents along with your little divots you put on there to make it stick out some. Then do the opposite and go back in on some, okay? There, so you can kind of see it coming to life a little bit, but okay. So there we've got looking more like a stack of pancakes with little lumpy bumpy funs going on, okay? And then just very quickly put a cover on this. All right. Top pancake on, I guess. Call it. Ah, I am pulling black off that paper. Terrible. Keep getting on my glove. Oh well. We'll go ahead and finish here. Let's grab a smaller rolling pin. Don't bump anything with my big one while I'm doing this.
Somebody just said, "What's up with the 80s hair?"
What?
Oh.
Who saw my wedding picture? Who knows my hair's still the same? Okay. There, I just grabbed my pan that I baked in. And then cutter.
Put it over there.
Did I? No? Where'd it go? Little cutter got lost. Well, found it. Found the little cutter. Just gonna kind of eyeball that looks center-ish. No, it doesn't. That went on bad. Oh well. Okay. So there, we've got the top put on. And I know we could totally sit here and mess and mess and mess with all these details. This is something normally I would probably spend 4 or 5 hours on. we're just going to roll with it and call it good. You guys can do your details on your version. Okay? So there, we're pulling out our paper towel. Then I'm melting some white chocolate, okay? And I'm just going to put that in down in the tube to hold the copper still.
Someone asked if you're going to paint over the ridges on the fondant again.
No, that was not my intention, okay? The whole point of this was trying to show you a way to not have to go back in. Yes, you could if you want to, okay? But no, my hope was to make this just a way to be quicker, simpler, and not have to mess around with it. Now, me personally, if I were doing this cake for an order or something, yes, I would be back in here, like I said, messing around with it probably for a couple more hours yet. I would get some pebble dust out and get some shading and stuff going on, you know, different things. But we're going with a quick version today. Okay, so I left my copper tube in the freezer in hopes that if I put a little more of my chocolate in here for my syrup, I'm going to dip this down in there too. I'm hoping it is going to be cold enough. I can just hold it here for a quick second and it'll be good. Okay. I can feel it is starting to set. Ah, it was. I promise it was. Good. No, we're not. Darren, can you go out and ask Tammy for some of the freeze spray?
Freeze spray.
Yes. So we're going to see the freeze spray in action after all. Because I thought my copper tubing was cold enough it was just going to make this set up real quick, and it's not. It was a great theory. Well, maybe it is. Okay. Try dumping a little more on top of it. Just want enough in there to hold everything in. Okay. And I'm trying to keep this, oh, there, it just loosened up again. It was starting to set. Shoot. Well, he's getting some freeze spray. So we're going to have to do that. This is not playing nice for me. Oh, we don't have it out there? Okay.
Didn't have a price on it.
Okay. Freeze spray's coming in a second, guys. Oh, I see it running through those. And now we're going to have the trick. Can I do this without making one of these guys come on camera with me?
No.
Alright, I think I can. Alright, are we zoomed in there? So, this is freeze spray, well, coolant set. Okay? And in theory, it should but did not. Alright, maybe I didn't use enough. Well, my hands feel cooler. Ah, there it goes. Okay. So I'm going to put a little more chocolate in there and then do that again. I'll put another coat on top of it. Okay. So we obviously should just use the freeze spray right from the get-go. fun is that? Whee! Ah! Don't do that. It's gonna make me say naughty things today.
I think you got too much weight in the bottom of chocolate.
Nah. I've done this with a lot more chocolate in there before. All right, really? Okay, so next up, we are going to put more chocolate in, period. And make a mess on my hands. Whoops. Let's go. What do you think here? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing with you.
Okay. Not at me. All right.
No.
Attaboy. And basically, I'm going to seal this end right off. That bad boy can't move.
They're blaming the heat, Pooh. We need to get air. in.
It is 71 degrees in here, you guys, with the air running. I'm not okay with this, if you know me at all. You know I'm not. Okay, just doing some quick little blast on it. So I've almost got that thing filled right there. Here, if I fill it up, it can't move, right? And once again, you're welcome. Di's keeping it real. Showing you how to deal when stuff doesn't go as planned. I promise I've done this before. People that came here for Cake Club years ago can testify to this. Bonnie, tell them I've done this before. All right. I think we're up and good. Okay. That's going to work. All right. Okay, Mr. Simmons, can you hold that for me for a second?
Oh, God.
Don't bump it. If it falls, you guys, it's his fault. Oh, you don't got to keep it up right there on camera. I got to do something real quick. Well, okay, don't go too far. Actually, I'm going to do both. I'm going to drop some fondant down in here, but then also, okay, we got some white chocolate ready. Oh, that was a great base. Okay, so then I'm going to cut one of my funnels here. So I have just a little disposable paper funnel here. All right. And hopefully, I'll flatten it down just a little bit. I can dictate somewhat where it goes. No. All right, next option. Putting some chocolate in a bag because the funnel is not going to direct it in there well enough. And I don't think we're going to need too much, so go there. All right. And I'm just letting this kind of work its way. I'm not squeezing it real hard or anything. I'm giving it a minute just to settle down in there. Okay. There, that should be enough. Okay. So it's got some fondant in there and the chocolate, just basically to help stabilize it, okay? So then, we need another paintbrush. I'm going with just a big, it's a soft floppy brush, all right? And going to paint, I'll try and work towards you guys, and I don't care if some dribbles down there, okay? I don't care if it runs down. That looks a little more natural if we've got some kind of puddle marks on it, okay? But I need to cover up so you don't see the copper. All right. Do I got the copper covered all the way over there?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, now I'm just going back. Now I know I've got everything covered. Just going back and putting some heavy spots on just to make it drip on purpose. So as it sets up, you can kind of see where I'm getting little bubbles of drips on there. Okay? Because we want that. Syrup would look like that naturally as it pours out. Okay? And then I'm going to go around the base and pour some out. Yeah, we don't need a ton. Well, yeah, we do. It's syrup.
I'm gonna eat it. Dump it on there, Pooh.
Okay. We're dumping it on there. And want some dripping over. And I just hit this in the back, so I actually have a drip going right down. This is going to help cover up that seam spot too. Okay? Alright. So this is definitely a little more. Chocolate wouldn't have hurt anything, but that's okay. Now, I have another little thing I did. Because when you pour something like that, it's not just going to sit there and fall nice and even, right? It's going to splatter and puddle back up and make little bubbles and stuff where it's pouring. So what I did, if someone show you, I just took, I use gum paste, but you could absolutely use fondant, okay? And then I dipped these into, there you can see, I dipped them into the chocolate, okay? So it's basically just going to look like a bunch of kind of splatters coming out. Once we push those in, or I say it's going to. Hopefully that's the look it gives, because that's the goal. Okay. Do you see splatters of syrup coming up? I'm not, am I getting, oh my gosh, yes, it's totally splatters. They absolutely see my
Action
vision.
cake. Ah, too cute. Love it. Beautiful cake.
Okay, so there's some splatters of syrup. And then, I don't know if we've got this. Let me fan it just a little bit here. Or wait, because this is doing the trick. set that up. Okay, that was just some of our freeze spray stuffy. And then I made some colored piping gel. Just a minute, time for clean gloves again. Oh, I don't know if I can get them on, my hands are all sweaty. Because it's hot in here, have I mentioned that? Alright. Let's try. It's not set up yet. Okay. Well, let me do this. I can't really paint this on yet. It's not set up yet. So I'll put some here in the piping bag. And see what we come up with. And again, this is just some piping gel. And I put some brown, yellow, and ivory color in it. Okay? Good question?
Yeah, somebody wants to know what you would charge for a cake like that. That's their weak point.
Oh, okay. I can tell you right now, without even hesitating the thought at this, charges, yeah, it's not set up enough yet. As far as what I would charge for cakes, I am going to do a whole live video on that, okay? That is my, I call it my little soapbox I get on, all right? I am going to sit and go through. I will help you with charging for your cakes. Because I absolutely want people making money, okay? To be quite blunt, if my customers don't make money, they're not going to be my customers very long, are they? All right, this is not set up. The chocolate hasn't completely set up. So we're not totally getting the look I want here. But basically the piping gel will give it some shine and definitely much more of a syrupy look. Okay. But as far this personal cake, let's see, I did 3/8, so you'd be looking at, oh, what, probably 45 servings-ish. It's been so long, you guys, since I got to look at all my charts. I would definitely be saying, you know, at least 125, but that I don't think is enough for all you got to do farting around with this. If I had done, you know, spent the time on it that needed to, I probably would be closer like, I probably in like the 175, 200 range for it. But again, it would just, it depend on how much fussing and farting around I really planned on doing with it, okay? But again, keep an eye out, because one of the future classes I do, I am going to do a complete thing on pricing cakes, how to know what you've got into it, if you're getting your money's worth, okay? Let's see, these are a little more set up, I can do some of those. And I'm not going to sit here and fiddle around with all these, but just so you can see the difference, hopefully, here. And some of them painted with that piping gel. Can you zoom in on those, Darren, enough so they can see the difference? Is it going to show? Okay, so I've got a couple of these, and this is just the chocolate that's on there. I painted them with the piping gel. So this one here, these two right here, I've got the piping gel on in my tube. I put some on. The rest of them I don't have the piping gel on yet. Okay. So hopefully you can see the difference in that. But eventually, and I'll go through and I'll paint it all and finish it off. It probably won't be until, in all seriousness, I don't know if it'll be on there later tonight or tomorrow. And I'll actually go back. I'll probably dust in a little bit more in between them and stuff. I don't want to have you guys sit here. But gosh, we've already been an hour and a half, so. So we've done enough messing, but like I said, it's just a little bit quicker option for putting it together. Just doing the one piece of fondant like we did. Okay? Instead of doing strip after strip after strip and putting it on there. Alright? So there we've got cake for now. And like I said, I'll finish it off and get some nice pictures and put on the Facebook page. Alright? So, as of 12:32, if you have not signed in and said hello or something, you've got 1 minute to do it, because as soon as we stop this camera, I'm going to run back to my office and I will start pulling the names off real quick, and then we're going to print everything out on piece of papers, cut them apart, put them in a bowl. I will be back on hopefully within about 15-20 minutes, and we will do a live drawing for our prizes. The first choice, it will be your choice between the airbrush system or the cupcake liners, the 6-pack of the 500 sleeves. Okay? If you already have an airbrush and you do a lot of cupcakes, that's just as nice of a prize. And then we're going to do gift certificates also, which you can use for online or in store. Okay? So we're going to do 2 $50 gift certificates and then 4 $20 gift certificates, as well as so we'll have 8 prizes altogether. Unless between now and then I decide that we might do even a couple more. We'll see. So, alright, 12:33. If you didn't sign in, you're too late. We're out. We'll see you on, well, hopefully within a half hour. Come back on when we do our drawing. And then our next class is going to be Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.